Good day, eh? It's Shaner the taxpayer time. Yeah, I've been wondering. Well, for the last 5 days, I haven't done a show in the last 5 days of any kind. Yeah, I've been kind of wondering, why am I really doing this? Because I've done, I don't know, over 40 some odd shows, and not too many people are watching. Like, I look at the analytics, and people are clicking on it, but, like, I can see how many minutes that people are watching. It's very little. So it's like, what am I doing this for? But ultimately, I guess I'm doing it for myself because really it's therapeutic. Because by just talking to myself, basically, I am not talking politics with my partner. I'm not talking politics to anybody else in my life, really. And I'm keeping my politics pretty much off of social media. So, like, I don't piss people off. Because it really does rub people the wrong way. People get tired of it. I get tired of it. Even the people I agree with, I'm tired of seeing it in my newsfeed from other people. I mean, but a lot of it I do save for my podcast, so it is handy. But, yeah, it's kind of like, what am I doing this for? Is it for attention? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, all the YouTubers out there, the millions and millions and millions of people doing this, they all want to make a bit of scratch, a bit of coin with it. And, I realized very early on, I highly improbable, very doubtful that I'll ever make a dime at this. And, one of my 2 videos ago, I had 20 people out of nowhere click on it. Well, that's great. But they ain't watching it either. They just click on it. So, I don't know. Anyways, let's just get right into it. So, I tried to share some of my life through this, and obviously people don't give a crap about that either. So, I'm just not going to do that. Let's bring me over here a bit more. So, there's no point in sharing stuff that nobody's watching, I shared stuff about my son dying, and nobody watched it. He's not dead, but he was fighting for his life, and nobody watched it, because nobody reached out to say, hey, how you doing? How's everybody making out? Pull that down. So, anyways, this is therapy for me. It keeps me occupied. I'd like to think that I'm doing something for community, for Canadians out there, even though there's a lot of people doing the exact same thing and doing it a lot better than me. But I'm doing the exact same thing that they're doing. I'm sharing news stories, I'm reading articles, I'm showing videos, and I give my commentary. And so that's what I do, and some people have hundreds of thousands of followers. I have 2 channels, and one channel has 8 or 9 followers, and then one channel has 12 followers. That's great. And I get like an average of 4 or 5 clicks. It's great. Keep clicking. Like, if everybody clicked 1,000,000 times, I might get somewhere. But anyways, I'm ranting, and this is not Shaner's rant. This is the taxpayer, and nobody's watching this to even listen anyway. So let's give it a go. My guy, Ron the mortgage guy. I'm getting caught up on the news that I'm behind on. So let's go.
Should we fix Mark Carney's house? His fucked up house? Yeah, we got 24 Sussex Drive. So the Prime Ministers of Canada have lived there for a very long time, but it just got fucked up, like really fucked up. Like, there's rats in the walls. There was black mold everywhere. I mean, basically they had to condemn it. Yeah, like they had to say, look, when Justin got elected, Justin Trudeau, he's got like little kids at the time, right? So they said, He hadn't hooked up with Katy Perry yet. Whoa. So anyway, they said, no, you can't move in. There's black mold everywhere. It's fucking terrible in there. Rats running around and dead vermin and oh, fuck no. So everybody, they quit it. Like the Prime Minister doesn't live in Sussex Drive anymore. It just, 24 Sussex Drive, just gave up. So we'll just leave it. We'll think what to do. Well, that was 12 fucking years ago. What the fuck is wrong with government that everything takes 12 years just to think about? So the Prime Minister announced, okay, we're going to fix this place up. Which, by the way, we should. Okay? Like, seriously. Like, they spend like $400 million a year on the White House. The President of France lives in a fucking palace. Yeah, it's called the Elysee Palace. He lives in a palace. 10 Downing Street in London is one of the most famous addresses in the world, for Christ's sakes. I mean, like, yeah, he can have a house, okay? We can fix Sussex Drive. Like, fuck me. I mean, it's okay. But naturally, when they announce it, they do something completely fucking nuts. Like, they announce an architectural design contest. Like, what? Like, what the fuck? Okay? It's going to run for a year, almost a year. They're going to get all kinds of architectural designs in. They're going to appoint a commission. Do we need another fucking commission, for Christ's sake? They're going to be, a review of the architect's suggestions. Like, oh, fuck. Government is so fucked, okay? If the house is fucked, you have two decisions. We're going to renovate it to fix it and leave the outer walls, reno it to the studs and leave it alone, make some improvements. Are we going to tear it down, like, and start again? Like, fuck me. Is it hard to decide? Is it that fucking hard to decide? Like, fuck. Why does government turn everything into a fucking shittery of madness, okay? Architectural contests, commission to review, like, fuck right off. Can't we just decide something? I'm okay with fixing the Prime Minister's house. Every other big country has every other even small little countries, like Venezuela has a famous presidential palace, for fuck's sakes. Like, let's fix the house, but does it have to be this fucking complicated? And what do you think?
Well, I didn't hear about that one, so thank you, Ron. Next up, Mario for the North. This is really good. What if Pierre Poilievre had said, "Make America great again," went to another country and said, "It's good to be home," went to China and said he was setting up a new world order, bought condos from wealthy donors so they don't lose money, got caught on his hands and knees with his hands on the knees of Ghislaine Maxwell, negotiated a majority, passed a law allowing cabinet to secretly spy on Canadians, led the country to be the only G7 in a recession, bragged about sending money to people who can't afford to eat, missed 100 out of 136 question periods, spent nearly $1 million on airplane food in 1 year, reappointed someone who couldn't recall flying business class, failed to deport 23 of 24 identified IRGC operatives, allowed 577,739 deported orders to sit unenforced, rammed a spy bill with secret amendments, had an 86-year-old defense board with the U.S. suspended, proposed the debt sovereign fund, got additional tariffs from the U.S. for not stopping forced labor imports, quietly removed forced labor from global affairs diplomatic goals, sealed Health Canada vaccine injury records until 2040. Wow. Took 4 different positions on Iran strikes in 96 hours, begged the U.S. to let Canada back into trade talks. The legacy media would call it the greatest political collapse in Canadian history. But it's Carney, so they call it leadership instead. This guy is just awful. Still, the media will blame Polyev. Still, the Liberals will blame Polyev and Harper, though they've been in power for like 12 years. Moving on, Pierre Polyev's post from June 24th. So, like I said, I'm getting caught up on old stuff. This is from the National Post. I'm not going to read the whole article, but big congratulations to the Alto executives for getting $2.8 million in bonuses for a train project that has no route, no financing, no building permit, no start date, and won't exist for over a decade. The Liberal Club is getting richer than ever. Thank you, Mark Carney. Pop the champagne. Unreal. If anybody's watching, do you see a bug crawling across my screen? It's not on the outside. It's like on the inside. How did it get on the inside of my screen? It's weird. Moving forward, another post from Mario for the North. For anybody that's conservative leaning, please give him a follow on Facebook or any other platform. The guy's very smart and he knows his stuff, and he's kind of connected to Pierre Polyev and the conservatives. So his post reads, if you can't see it for yourself and you're just listening, this is complete BS. This is about Doug Ford. Ford is tanking so hard in the polls, he's finally waking up to the fact that conservatives hate him. Yeah. What he's not telling you is that he tried to override the federal government and give asylum seekers work permits to take jobs away from those living in Ontario. I, Mario, exposed it last year. The video went viral, and I know people called him and talked to him about it. He was then forced to walk it back within a few days. What Ford is also not telling you is Ontario issued over 13,000 PNP invitations to foreign workers in just 4 months of 2026. PNP stands for Provincial Nominee Program. Now this is interesting. It's an immigration system where each province nominates immigrants for permanent residence based on its own labor and economic priority. 13,000. About a third went to candidates with zero work experience at low wages. Almost 2,000 went to low-skilled occupations. The rest went to people with no Canadian work experience. So them saying they're not taking part in allowing more workers is a lie and a joke. They were accomplices to this madness, and now it's too late. Pandora's box has been opened. So this statement from the Ford administration is them desperately trying to undo all the damage they've done for years and not fighting for us. It's over for him. Moving forward, I forgot that I was going to be reading like crazy today. From the National Post, the cost of Carney's energy sector sabotage is staggering. Well, it started with Trudeau. Earlier this month, Cenovus Energy CEO John McKenzie sharply criticized the federal Alberta agreement that links support for the West Coast oil sands pipeline to carbon capture and storage, the CCS, and industrial carbon pricing. He described the industrial carbon tax as insidious and said the industry has been clear that it should be revoked. No kidding. He also noted that the Pathways Alliance CCS project itself carries an estimated cost as high as $30 billion. Are you listening? Without addressing core regulatory barriers and enabling real investment and production growth in Alberta's oil sands, He warned neither the pipeline nor the CCS project really make any sense. No kidding. Mackenzie's complaint is operational. I would offer a structural one. Ottawa intends to price carbon to discourage production, subsidize capture to permit production, fast-track a pipeline to move production, and suspend electricity rules to power it. The staggering cost of these contradictions is borne by Canadians. I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'll read a bit more. In 2022, former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau waved away the Canadian LNG export to Europe by saying there was no business case. And let me interject. Now they're begging for it. They want it. Nope, but he said no business case. Moreover, Ottawa had bet big on green hydrogen in Atlantic Canada, and there was no room left to back the resource the world actually wanted. Yeah. They wanted it then, they want it now. Now we lost a decade. Prime Minister Mark Carney is making the same errors on energy and climate policy. More than a year into his tenure, his signature innovation has been federal fast-tracking through Major Projects Office. What began as a well-intentioned emergency measure carries a risk of becoming a permanent substitute for systematic reform, with a few favored projects bypassing the mess of the rest left to rot. Yeah, well, he's only picking the ones that he wants. He made this office to make it sound good. Oh, we'll make an office and we'll pick these. We'll get the projects going. But he's only picking the ones that make the most sense for him and Brookfield, and all these other ones. Some of them have been in development for years. He's just gonna let them sit. Nothing will happen, and nothing will change, other than our country will get worse. Wow, I'm sorry. This is probably the most boring episode I've ever done. Everything's reading. I barely have any videos. And I've got the most monotone voice, and I'm the worst reader ever. Anyways, another post from Pierre Poliev. 3 northern projects have been waiting over a decade to be built. Today, the Liberals, this is back on the 24th, today the Liberals announced they were beginning consultations on moving their permit applications. This is funny, yeah, I remember this one. From one office in Ottawa to another office in Ottawa. They announced this. They moved it from one office to another. That was a big announcement. Another Liberal press conference expected next year, announcing Canada Post has delivered the application to the second office. That's funny. Bureaucratic busy work does not build countries. Oh, way to go, Pierre. Yeah, that was funny. Big announcement. Yeah. We sent the permits from one office to another. There you go. Thank you. Have a good day. Sorry, I'm still laughing. Oh, wow. You know, I gotta admit, though, I haven't looked at this stuff for 5 days, and it's kind of been nice. Because I look at it again, and I'm like, this is really like a dunk tank of a country. Anywho, we're moving on, and this is a story that I'm really happy about. Again, there was a story earlier on this show that I didn't like Doug Ford, but here's something positive. Very positive. It probably has really nothing to do with him, but it's good for Ontario, it's good for Canada. But construction has begun on the one Ontario First Nation road to the Ring of Fire mining region. Premier Doug Ford visited Webegwin First Nation on Thursday, so that was last Thursday, to mark the milestone. His first visit to the region, he has spoken about it often since taking power in 2018. Has it been that long? Really? This work is about ensuring Webequie, I'm going to say it that way, is in a stronger position for the future. Webequie Chief Lorraine Whitehead said in a statement, "We want decisions affecting our territory to create lasting benefits for our people while protecting the land and waters that have sustained us for generations. We will continue to move forward and carefully and deliberately on our own terms with a focus on building a better future for our community." Absolutely. You should absolutely be included and make your lives better for all of Canada. Webequie noted the environmental assessment for the road has been approved, and the First Nation also emphasized that the environmental assessment approval for the Webequie, I'm getting tired of saying that word, supply road only, the First Nation said in a statement. Let's continue here. I forgot what I read the other day, so. It is not an approval for any mine development. Any future mine project in the region would be subject to its own separate regulatory process. Of course, we have to have all these regulatory processes. And we need to undergo an Indigenous-led assessment, of course, with full consideration and potential impacts, community priorities, and just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. People know what they're doing. The proposed road and mine has angered a number of First Nations in the area that are opposed to development in a largely untouched part of the province. I guess they like being poor. Webequie has already cleared part of the road that sits on its reserve, which is on an island about 500 kilometers north of Thunder Bay. The community's leadership says it wants the road in order to help itself lift itself out of poverty and connect to the provincial highway system. Absolutely. This was the next part that I found really interesting, that they really need these roads. Climate change, and climate is changing. I acknowledge that. I'm not one of those tree-hugging people, but I acknowledge climate has changed. Climate change is fueling... I'm a tree hugger, but I'm not like the world is coming to an end guy. Climate change is fueling the desire for an all-season road as the winter road season continues to shrink. That road is the community's lifeline as it trucks in diesel to power the reserve, as well as materials and any type of construction, including new homes. Yeah, see what happens. They count on these lakes freezing, and I don't know if you ever seen the show Ice Road Truckers and stuff. It's real, all across Canada, everywhere. They gotta get across the roads in the wintertime, or across the lakes and rivers and everything. They drive across it, so if it doesn't freeze, they're buggered. So, well, it's progress, and I'm kind of glad Ford got up there. So, let's get into the burning ring of fire. Make some money for everybody. Let's admit it. They're in poverty up there. All over the place. We should build these people up. So, anyways. That's my rant on that. Okay. We're getting to the end of this show. But while we're on the native subject, I'll give you a foreshadowing. Not foreshadowing, that's not the right word. A hint of what the next episode will have included, continuing with the First Nations. This was from the Auditor General report. Indigenous Services Canada, which was formed about 10 years ago, falls short in transforming fiscal. Smoke another one. Physical relationships with First Nations. Oh shit, that made me laugh. No, we don't want Services Canada to have physical relationships with First Nations. Oh my goodness. So anyways, I will read the article, but I'm tired of reading for today. Good Lord. But basically, the long and short of it was something that I've been saying since I did shows last year. And it's been, a lot of people have been saying it. There's really been no accountability between the First Nations and Canada and the money that they've been receiving. And it came to a total of $6.5 billion over 10 years. So that's the Reader's Digest version of it, but I will get into the full Auditor General's report. And if you can see on the screen there, you can key it in on your own browser, and there is so much more that the Auditor General does that I was blown away that it only makes sense that it's available online, but it is really, really interesting, and they can't pull any punches. They can't be bought off by the government. They are like, they tell it like it is. So anyways, I do want to get into more of her reports, her and her office, and that'll be on the next episode, so I'll end this in a jiffy. And we're back, and I'm on the other side. What happened? What happened? Hey, Stanley, you're looking good today. Alright, you know what time it is, folks. Alright, Stanley, we gotta put you down here for a second. We gotta get the crowd laughter ready here. Hold on. Alright, joke time. I think wearing 2 different deodorants is a brilliant idea. One under each armpit. But that's just my 2 cents. Delayed reaction. Do I come close? I gotta get it. Not quite. Not so good. Oh, here's a good one. Oh, what happened? Everything's not working now. Hate it when it's... Alright, got this fixed. I accidentally got Axe deodorant spray in my mouth, and now I've been walking around and talking with a accident. Why is it delayed? Oh, this is not working today. Anyways, let's end this thing. This has been a bore fest, right? My goodness, my monotone reading all the way through for like almost a half hour. Oh my gosh, did I put you to sleep? Anyways, thank you for spending time with me. Hit like, subscribe. What else? Share. Leave a comment. Somebody, please leave one. Tell me I suck. That's okay, I know it. But anyways, thank you for being a dynamite audience. You deserve to give yourselves a round of applause. Anyways, like always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and God bless.